back for a moment. Have you ever witnessed something truly wrong? Something unfair happening right before your eyes? Maybe even heard a cry for help cutting through the everyday noise.
Yeah.
And felt that helpless feeling. You wondered, could stepping in actually make things better, or would it just make things worse?
That's a really powerful question. It absolutely gets to the heart of how we respond, or maybe don't respond, to injustice in our communities.
Right.
It touches on our sense of right and wrong, sure, but also those very real calculations we make about, well, personal risk and responsibility.
Well, this deep dive plunges us directly into that exact tension. We're heading onto a gritty street in Los Angeles.
Okay.
You can almost feel the air, thick with exhaust under the glare of the streetlights. We've looked closely at firsthand accounts to bring you a vivid story.
A dramatic confrontation, it sounds like.
Exactly. Where that very question gets answered and the impact, it resonates far beyond just that single moment.
The source material really paints a picture of this neighborhood, doesn't it?
It does.
You can almost hear the sounds, like you said, the busy city sounds, traffic, maybe distant sirens, maybe even the sizzle from a late-night food cart.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a place where the sources seem to suggest people are often just focused on getting by. Looking out for yourself can feel like, well, the main thing.
Right. Survival mode, almost. And it's into this environment that our key individuals, they come into focus.
Okay, who are we talking about?
First, there's Lena. She's 21, juggling college and a barista job.
Ah.
Her textbooks, they're a real symbol of her dreams, her hope for a different future.
Right, trying to build something better.
But she, unfortunately, becomes the target of someone's anger. Then there's Ricky.
Ricky. Yeah.
He's mid-30s, involved in drug dealing, apparently, and he is just boiling with resentment after a recent drug bust.
And he blames Lena.
Wrongly, yes, he blames her for it.
Wow. So that contrast between Lena and Ricky, it immediately sets up this dynamic of vulnerability versus aggression, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
The sources indicate that Ricky's reaction is fueled by this need to sort of reassert his authority in the neighborhood after this setback. It's about image and control.
Yeah, saving face. And then we encounter Jason Statham.
Okay.
The accounts describe him as having a Muay Thai honed frame. He's wearing a weathered jacket, even has scars that hint at, a past.
So not someone looking for trouble necessarily.
No, not at all. He's not seeking conflict. He's just in town visiting a friend, hoping for a bit of quiet, actually. But the events unfolding around him, well, they pull him in.
What's interesting about Statham, from what the sources suggest, is that he might be haunted by past experience, a time where maybe he didn't intervene.
Oh, okay.
So this internal conflict, this potential regret, it adds another layer to him and maybe helps explain why he chooses a different path this time.
That makes sense. Finally, we meet Carl. He's an older shopkeeper who has just seen enough.
Fed up.
Exactly. He's witnessed Ricky's bullying for too long, and he has this quiet admiration for Lena's determination, her hope. There's this powerful image of him holding his broom. It really feels like it becomes a symbol of his growing resolve.
Carl represents that long simmering frustration of a community that feels powerless, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
His age and his job might suggest vulnerability, but his quiet defiance, symbolized by that broom, it suggests a strength born of years of just watching and, well, finally reaching a breaking point.
So the core of our deep dive today is to really understand what happens next. We want to explore the sequence of events, right?
Read the motivations.
The motivations behind these individuals' actions, and ultimately what the broader consequences were for this community in LA.
And it all kicks off with a scream, you said.
It ignites with a scream. The sources describe a sudden, brutal attack. Ricky confronts Lena.
Just like that.
Yeah. His words are harsh, accusatory. He physically grabs her, even drags her by the hair.
Oh, terrible.
And tragically, her textbooks, representing so much, they get knocked to the ground, torn.
Awful. And what really stands out here, according to the accounts, is the reaction, or maybe the lack of reaction, from the people who see this happening.
It's that phenomenon we've all heard about, the bystander effect, isn't it?
It seems like it.
The accounts detail shoppers looking away, vendors pretending not to see, workers whispering nervously among themselves.
So fear just creates this invisible barrier.
Seems like it, preventing anyone from stepping forward to help Lena. Her cries for help are just lost in the city noise.
This lack of intervention really underscores the power that fear and intimidation can have within a community, doesn't it?
It really does.
When one person establishes dominance through aggression, it can create this climate where others feel the risk of getting involved is just too high. It's a complex social dynamic.
But then things start to shift. Statham, who's in a nearby cafe, he witnesses this whole disturbing scene.
Okay, so he sees it unfolding.
Yes, and the sources strongly imply this isn't just another incident for him, that past inaction you mentioned. That unanswered scream from his memory, it seems to be the trigger. We actually see him physically respond.
How so?
His jaw tightens, his hands clench, and there's this sound of his boots scraping the floor as he starts to move towards the chaos.
That moment of decision for Statham is crucial, isn't it?
It feels pivotal.
The sources highlight that internal struggle. His movement isn't just some rash impulse. It appears to be a deliberate choice.
Right.
Driven by needing to act differently than he had in the past. It speaks to the weight of regret, maybe, and the potential for change.
And it leads immediately to a confrontation. Ricky, still furious, tries to intimidate Statham. Taunts him like, big hero, huh?
Trying to regain control through bluster.
Yeah. But despite the verbal aggression, there's this palpable shift in the atmosphere. Statham's presence, described as cold and unyielding, it starts to unsettle Ricky. The nervous murmuring from the onlookers just fades into complete silence. Everyone seems to be holding their breath.
You see that classic contrast there, don't you? Loud aggression versus quiet resolve.
Yep.
Ricky's need to verbally challenge Statham probably comes from his own insecurity, right? Whereas Statham's silence conveys a different kind of confidence, one that doesn't need shouting.
And the crowd senses it.
Instinctively, yeah. They sense this shift in power.
However, Ricky doesn't back down easily. He continues his abuse of Lena, even kicking her scattered textbooks.
Still pushing it.
Yeah. And the sources really emphasize Statham's internal conflict at this point, that hesitation born from his past.
Still wrestling with it.
Meanwhile, we get glimpses of other reactions. Carl, the shopkeeper, clutching his broom, his knuckles white. He's muttering under his breath, his resolve clearly hardening.
So Carl's anger is building too.
Definitely. And the whispers in the crowd start up again. Who is that guy? He's just standing there. Ricky's gone too far.
These layered reactions really build the tension, don't they?
They do.
Statham's internal struggle makes his eventual intervention even more significant. And Carl's growing defiance, alongside the crowd's shift from, fear to anticipation, suggests the community's tolerance for Ricky's behavior is hitting its limit.
Then we reach this pivotal moment. Statham issues a clear warning. Last chance.
Okay, drawing a line.
You can feel his resolve solidifying, and almost like on cue, the rain starts to fall.
Adding to the drama.
Totally. And in a final act of cruelty, Ricky shoves Lena's already ruined books into a puddle.
Oh, that's just nasty.
It is. And it's this act that seems to break the tension, signaling that Statham is finally ready to act.
That act of deliberately damaging her books, it feels like a final provocation from Ricky, doesn't it? Maybe testing Statham's boundaries.
Could be.
But it also serves as this powerful visual catalyst for Statham, solidifying his decision. And maybe it galvanizes the onlookers, too.
And in that exact instant, we see Carl.
The shopkeeper.
Yes. He steps forward, his broom held high. The sources describe his muttering becoming fierce, his heart pounding with years of pent-up frustration.
Wow.
This isn't some young impulsive reaction. It's the culmination of an older man's long-held anger at injustice. It's a truly significant moment of defiance.
Carl's action is incredibly impactful there. It breaks the spell of inaction that had held the bystanders captive.
Right.
It demonstrates that courage can be found in the most unexpected places, and that even a seemingly small gesture can have a profound effect on the dynamics of a situation. His broom just transforms, doesn't it?
From a mundane object into a symbol of resistance. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're at this breaking point. Ricky has this defiant, yet maybe wavering smirk. Statham's gaze is locked, unwavering.
The crowd's tension is palpable.
Palpable, and you just know a physical confrontation is inevitable.
The atmosphere is just charged. The rain, the silence of the crowd, the determined stances of Statham and Carl, all the elements are in place for something big.
And it erupts. The scene shifts to a nearby alley, slick with rain. The sounds are raw, immediate. Splintering crates, the impact of punches, grunts of exertion, all underscored by the relentless downpour.
Intense.
The accounts emphasize Statham's Muay Thai precision, efficient, practiced movements that quickly overwhelm Ricky's wild, anger-driven attacks.
So Statham knows what he's doing.
Clearly, you get the sense that Ricky's confidence is just shattering as he realizes he is completely outmatched.
The alley fight is described as swift and decisive then.
Very. Statham's training and focused intention allow him to neutralize Ricky's aggression effectively. The visceral sounds just emphasize the physical reality of it.
And what about Carl? Is he still involved?
And Carl, he doesn't just stand by. He uses his broom to trip Ricky's associate, who is acting as a lookout.
Huh. Good for Carl.
Right. Further leveling the playing field. And the crowd erupts in cheers, this collective outpouring of relief and newfound courage.
Carl's continued involvement is critical. It shows his initial act wasn't just symbolic. He's actively helping resolve the situation. And the crowd's cheers, they reflect their gratitude and their own sort of burgeoning sense of empowerment.
Amidst all this chaos, we can't forget Lena.
No, of course not. What's happening with her?
She's huddled on the ground, sobbing, her dreams, those ruined books scattered around her. But the sources note a flicker of hope in her reaction as she witnesses this unexpected intervention.
So even in her distress, she's seeing someone stand up for her.
Exactly.
That moment of protection, after the earlier vulnerability and inaction, it must plant a crucial seed of hope for her.
And Ricky's defeat is described almost as a breaking point. The final blows, culminating in an elbow strike, and him just collapsing onto the wet asphalt.
Wow.
His reign over the street broken. It's a powerful image, isn't it? His dominance just shattered.
That phrase, his reign over the street broken, is very evocative. It really signifies the end of Ricky's reign of fear, the disruption of his oppressive control over the neighborhood.
And Statham's response is immediate and focused. He swiftly pulls Lena away from the defeated Ricky.
So his actions are about ensuring her safety.
Right. Not about prolonging the fight or, gloating.
Statham's priority remains Lena's well-being. His decisive action to remove her from the immediate danger reinforces his role as a protector here. There's no sense of unnecessary aggression or seeking recognition.
And the crowd's reaction, it's just this outpouring of raw emotion, cheers, applause, shouts of support directed towards both Statham and Carl.
So they recognize Carl's bravery too.
Oh, yeah. They are clearly in awe of Statham's abilities, but also deeply moved by the courage displayed by both men.
The crowd's response signifies a profound shift within the community, doesn't it? Their cheers aren't just celebrating the defeat of a bully.
No.
They represent a collective release of fear and the emergence of a shared sense of strength and possibility.
In the immediate aftermath, Ricky is subdued, panting. His stumble is a clear sign of surrender.
Humbled.
Yeah. His eyes are hollow, and he avoids any eye contact with Lena. Statham, in contrast, remains calm, composed. The difference between the two men is just stark.
That contrast really highlights the complete reversal of power. Ricky, who is so aggressive and intimidating, is now defeated, while Statham's quiet strength underscores how effective his intervention was.
As the immediate tension dissipates, we start to see the lasting impact of this whole dramatic event. Lena, despite the trauma and the loss of her books, she shows incredible inner strength.
That's good to hear.
The sources refer to her barista's grit, emphasizing that her dream, her goal of a better future through education, remains unbroken.
Lena's resilience is truly inspiring. Despite experiencing such a traumatic event and seeing her aspirations literally torn and soaked, her determination to continue her education, it speaks volumes about her character and the enduring nature of hope.
And Carl undergoes this remarkable transformation.
The shopkeeper again.
Yes. His eyes are described as blazing with a newfound purpose. That simple broom is now a potent symbol.
So he's not just going back to sweeping the sidewalk.
Not at all. He vows to take action against the neighborhood crime, even initiating a community patrol.
Wow. That's a direct and powerful consequence of witnessing Statham's courage and Lena's vulnerability, isn't it?
It seems so.
His decision to actively engage in improving the safety of his community signifies a profound shift from maybe passive resignation to proactive engagement.
And Statham, our sort of unassuming hero, displays no arrogance, no desire for recognition.
Yeah.
He simply and quietly hands Lena her waterlogged books.
A simple gesture, but meaningful.
And there's this touching detail where he acknowledges a fan name. It suggests his actions have already started to resonate within the community, even in this fictional context.
Statham's humility is a key aspect of his heroism, I think. The acknowledgement of a fan name indicates his courageous act has already begun to inspire and unite the community. It suggests a collective desire for positive change.
The neighborhood itself seems to experience this collective sigh of relief. The atmosphere shifts from one of fear to one of hope.
You can feel it changing.
There's a palpable respect for Statham, genuine support for Carl's initiative, and this sense of growing strength and unity just whispered among the residents.
The community's response really underscores the powerful ripple effect of a single act of courage. Statham's intervention didn't just stop an immediate threat.
No, it was more than that.
It ignited a broader sense of hope and the belief that positive change is possible through collective action.
Even Ricky's departure is different. He limps away, head bowed in shame.
His power is broken.
Exactly. The neighborhood's perception of him has fundamentally changed. He is no longer a figure of fear, just a defeated bully.
Ricky's humbled retreat signifies that loss of his power and influence. The fear he once instilled has been replaced by a collective sense of empowerment, the knowledge that his intimidation can be challenged.
And it all goes back to that initial act of courage, doesn't it?
It really does.
Statham's decision to intervene sparked something in others. Lena found renewed strength. Carl took decisive action.
And the community rallied.
Yeah, the community rallied together, their unity becoming, as the sources describe it, a shield.
It highlights the interconnectedness of a community, doesn't it? One act of bravery can have this cascading effect, empowering others to step forward and contribute to creating a safer, more just environment for everyone.
So this street, once defined by an undercurrent of fear and maybe the acceptance of chaos, now holds the promise of a more unified and protected future.
All stemming from one man's courageous choice.
It's quite a story. This story serves as a powerful reminder, I think, of the profound impact that individual courage can have on a whole community.
It really illustrates how, even in seemingly insurmountable situations, one person's willingness to act can be the catalyst for significant and lasting change.
So just to recap, we've really seen this powerful contrast between Ricky's cruelty and Statham's courage. And it underscores the significance of individual action in disrupting those cycles of abuse and fear.
Absolutely. And the inspiring ripple effect throughout the community, particularly Lena's resilience and Carl's decision to step up as a leader, truly demonstrates the potential for positive change.
Yeah, this deep dive reveals that Statham's intervention was more than just stopping a crime, wasn't it?
Much more. It was about igniting a spark of hope and empowering the community to reclaim a sense of safety and collective responsibility.
Thinking about this story, you, our listener, have likely witnessed or perhaps even been part of moments where courage, big or small, has led to positive change in your own community.
It's certainly something to reflect on.
It's a powerful thing to consider.
It raises an important point about the role we all play as members of our communities, doesn't it? And the potential we have to contribute to a better environment, even through seemingly small acts of courage or support.
So if this deep dive into a story of grit and community resonated with you, we really encourage you to engage with us.
We'd love to hear from you.
Please like this video, subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations of compelling stories like this one, and leave a comment below.
Let us know what you thought.
Tell us. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please leave a number 1 in the comments. If it wasn't quite for you, that's okay, just leave a number 2.
We really value the feedback. Your engagement helps us continue to bring you these detailed analyses and explore stories that we hope will spark thought and conversation.
And finally, a provocative thought to carry with you. This deep dive reminds us that even in the most challenging circumstances, the choice to act with courage can create a chain reaction, transforming not only individual lives, but the very fabric of a community.
So the question becomes,
what small act of courage might you consider today?